Good evening, Borno. Welcome to Borno Health Update, your frontline lens into Governor Babagana Umar Zulum's revolutionary healthcare transformation. I'm your host, Ibrahim Amara, and tonight we are diving into life-saving mission, how cutting-edge emergency medical services are rewriting the future for mothers and families across our state. Let's get straight to the heart of the story. Maternal mortality in Borno has long been a silent storm fueled by delays, poverty, and insecurity. But now a beacon of hope emerges. The emergency medical ambulance services system. This isn't just about vehicles and sirens. It is lifeline, bridging gaps in care, rebuilding trust, and racing against time to save lives. Behind every breakthrough, there's a blueprint. With the support from Lapia UK, Borno's Health Ministry spearheaded a 3-day masterclass to adapt Nigerians' National Emergency Medical Treatment Guidelines, NEMTIC, to our unique needs. Why does this matter? Because tailored solutions save lives. Emergency medical services, EMS, and ambulance system play critical roles in addressing maternal mortality in Borno State, where high rates of maternal deaths persist due to delays in accessing care, socio-economic challenges, and insecurity. Emergency medical services and ambulance system are pivotal in mitigating maternal mortality by addressing transportation delays, strengthening referral networks, and fostering community trust. Sustaining these efforts requires multi-sectoral collaborations, investment in training, and integration with the broader maternal health strategies. During the opening of the review meeting, the State Commissioner for Health, Professor Baba Malam Gada, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Shatima Mainam Muhammad, stated that Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has prioritized healthcare, hence allocating 15% of the state budget to the healthcare. He emphasized that the emergency medical treatment and ambulance system will significantly contribute to reducing maternal mortality in Borno State.
Witnessing one of the milestones in the health sector reform value chain in Borno State. It is so important because many of us have struggled to see this day when the benefits and value chain of the health reform will be solidly on the ground for our people to benefit from these developments. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, MNI FNSC, is very passionate about the healthcare sector reforms in Borno State. In fact, that is why consecutively for 2 years, 2024 and 2025, we have always surpassed the health financing budget target. We have made the Abuja declaration of 14% healthcare financing. So this shows commitment and passion. And it is in this regard again, the memorandum for the establishment of the EMS and the ambulance system in Borno State was approved and given full blessings by the Borno State Executive Council. Now the onus is now on us as stakeholders to justify that support and make it work. And looking at the components of the EMS and ambulance system, I believe it will be a game changer. These consist of emergency medical system of care for the first 48 hours, emergency treatment for emergency care system for under 5 years children in hospitals and health facilities. And one of the most striking one is the emergency care for people with gunshot wounds. And definitely this is one of the reasons why we should even be more we should, all hands should go on deck to ensure the takeoff of this project. Daily, we have gunshot cases. Daily, people die of gunshot wounds and complications. So we must all work to ensure that this value chain is fully implemented in Borno State so that we can reduce the mortality from the complications of gunshots and other attacks by insurgents. And then one of the comments again is emergencies on snake bites. We have cases of snake bite everywhere across the state. And this intervention will definitely address the shortage of antivenom, emergency snake care and all these things. So I want to assure you that His Excellency the Executive Governor and the Borno State Ministry of Health are committed to ensuring the takeoff of the EMS and ambulance system in the state. The chairman of the Secretary Committee has already pointed out that an office has already been given to this system, and then staff has been deployed, staff consisting of ICT staff and other, because it involves a lot of ICT. So there is close communication with NCC. NCC have already provided all the materials and gadgets required for the takeoff of this project. So we are fully set to take off. So we are appealing to all the stakeholders and all the partners to support the full takeoff. We know there are challenges, but all these challenges are surmountable with the support of all the stakeholders and partners. And I will once again also thank again the Yobe State Emergency Service and ambulance systems for their technical input, for all their cooperation and support when our team went to understudy what they are doing. We thank them sincerely, and we urge them to always be their brothers keepers and continue to give their support until it is we reach the promised land. So, having said that, singular honor and privilege on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner of Health and Human Services, Professor Baba Malungana, FWSCS, FCIS, FRCS Glasgow, to declare this workshop open and wish ourselves fruitful deliberations.
In his remarks, the chairman of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Ambulance System Committee, Dr. Ibrahim Kida, outlined the steps the committee has taken since its inauguration.
All the teaching hospitals, the federal psychiatry, the maximum 7D hospital, and then we immediately followed by going to Yobe to try and copy what, or at least learn what they are doing, so that we can immediately come back to Maiduguri and start. I am actually inundated with a lot of calls from our members. That's the Borno State Emergency Medical Team Technical Committee members. When are we starting? When are we doing this? When are this? I know that things are not easy because it requires a lot of funding. I'm also glad that we have gotten a venue, which is an office complex. I think maybe the challenge we're having is maybe for furnishing, and then because it's quite a big thing, we need to furnish it. We need also to provide, get some employment to train people for the 24-hour call duty, and then other things. Things are not as easy as we wanted, but we have actually made some progress. Unfortunately, the team coordinator is not around, but we've seen that one, there's a signboard. Two, the office complex is along the Borno Investment House, which again is very close, together with the signboard is already on display. We do hope that things will be improved, so that we need to really start swinging into action, because we cannot be, the last time we were in Yobe was sometimes January, and now we are almost in end of May, and we really need to make some progress, so that people, the zeal with which we started, we have to continue with it. And the aim obviously is accepted very well. obviously to reduce maternal mortality, to reduce morbidity, and so on, which obviously is almost the only, what is actually reigning in the country, to try and reduce this maternal mortality as well as other accident mortalities that can actually be saved. So we do hope that the government, they will have to juggle and put our services as a priority so that we can now start as soon as is possible, and then people will begin to benefit. Because when we went to Yobe also, people needed to be told of the availability of this service. But then we cannot start the advertisement and other things until we are sure we have an office. And once there are offices, that will now make sure that every month, at least, we'll hold a meeting so that we can chart a way forward for the team.
During goodwill messages, the Executive Secretary of the Yobe State Medical and Ambulance System, Dr. Ali Danchua, and the Chair, Civil Society Organization, CSO in Borno State, Comrade Blam Abiso, and representative of partner organizations, acknowledged the efforts of Borno State government and pledged their support for the program.
Commissioner, sir, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, Borno State Minister of Health. Thank you so much for initiating the 3-day workshop for the revitalization and coming up with a document that will guide the services of Borno SEMSAS. So we are most grateful. We always remain committed to Borno because Borno is our father and mother. And there's no way, even if whatever we have, definitely it has to come to Borno for glorification and other ashafa kamuji cewa lalle muna da iyaye a baya. Thank you, sir, and you are most welcome. We really had wanted to have started this session earlier than now, but we were made to understand that one of your principal officers was bereaved, and that led to the delay. And we understand the circumstances. But then I just want to plead with the office of the Honorable Commissioner, sir, that this training may likely be extended because of what we did, even during the national. It took them almost 2 weeks. And hours that we developed our own, we also had a solid 5 days from 8:39 to almost 5 p.m. before we come up with this very valid document. And for us also to start something in Borno State and come up with a document of this magnitude, honestly, we need to be highly committed. Those technical staff have to be always around with their computers, because this, we have already created a Google link with all the document. Whatever you do as changes to the document is going to be tracked and also submitted to the consultant. So this will also give us an opportunity to come up with what we really wanted to have in Borno State. So we are most grateful. And I think without much waste of time, before the Honorable Commissioner departs, at least we will have a paper or two for him to see how we are going to start this session.
In February this year, the Borno State Emergency Medical Treatment and Ambulance Service Committee, BOSEMSAS, has commenced its activities with the learning tour to Yobe State, which is said to be one of the best states so far in the country in emergency services. The committee was received by the management of Yobe State Emergency Medical Ambulance Service Agency, YEMABOS, in Damaturu, the capital of Yobe State. BOSEMSA Chairman Dr. Ibrahim Kida explained to the management of YEMABOS the purpose of their visit, while Director of Operation Yobe Emergency Medical Ambulance Dr. Saidu Garba made a visual presentation of the agency's operational guidelines to acquaint the committee on the journey of YEMABOS since its inception and its transformation into agency.
Through the commissioner, inaugurated this particular emergency medical treatment committee, and sometimes in December 2024. We were inaugurated including or under the supervision of the NEM, that's National Emergency Measures. Obviously, Dr. Dobra, Imran Dobra was the one who led the team together with some of their other national officers. So during the particular, after the inauguration, we were to start our activity. First of all, we started by assessing all the important key stakeholders. That's the Nigerian 7th Division Medical Services, the Federal University of Psychiatry, the University Medical Teaching Officer, the Police Hospital, and the State Specialist Hospital. Obviously, we visited those places to assess the type of ambulances because we wanted to know which areas have the standard ambulances that will be required for this particular project. And after that, well, during the commissioning or during the whatever inauguration, Dr. Dobra made a lot of effort by stressing that in the country, Yobe State government, Yobe, particularly Yobe State, Enugu, I think, and Lagos, they have established this particular thing and it's going on very well. And then he suggested, well, since we are like infants now, then we should come and see where this is already established, so that one, we can also try and see whether we can fast track the way that we can establish our own. Because now we are just at the infancy. The committee, we really even don't know some of the differences between the committee and whatever the project itself, right? Because you have the committee, technical aspect of it, and then the committee that's supposed to do day-to-day activities of this particular organization. Now, also, by coming here, we also see the type of establishment which is made. We are looking for, we don't even have an office now. We are looking for, we thought it's going to be a small thing. And when we came here, we were actually quite surprised that it's a very big project with all the directors. Initially, we were thinking we just talked of finance unit, audit unit, and so on. We didn't know that it's quite an established project with all the requirements that's involved. So we felt that let us first come. Now, as we are coming, we are seeing things. But when we hear it from your mouth, how is established? What are the functions of the committee? What are the functions? And we will also now learn everything. And when we go back, we'll also need to show our own commissioner. Initially, he was to come, but unfortunately, because of the duty of his office, I think he came. Because initially we were to come together, then finally he said, no, I think we should just come on his behalf. When we go back, we will report to him all the things we've seen. We also have a video, so we'll definitely go and show you the video of what we've learned.
So, and for my colleagues from BORNO, I would say you are welcome. I knew Muhammad Jamil over some time, and we've been communicating. And on behalf of us all, we say you are welcome.
Also provided funding for the emergency medical treatment, which is supposed to be the 5% of the basic healthcare provision fund. Now, in 2016, the policy for the emergency medical services in Nigeria was established. And this is actually, its main objective is to ensure that those in need of urgent medical care are treated. And also, from that point of care, point of incident to the point of definitive care. And the overall thing is about integrating the pre-hospital and the hospital services, which before now, they are separate entities. Care of a patient starts from the hospital. Once the patient comes to the facility, that's where the care starts from. Now, Yobe picked interest and inaugurated its SEMT, which is the State Emergency Medical Treatment Committee. For the emergency care assistance, for the recruitments, at that time, because we needed to recruit a lot of people, so there was a special consideration that, okay, we should ensure that this people, is a new recruitment, should be from the state, at least 5 from each of the 17 local governments in the state, so that every area in the state is represented in the emergency care assistance recruitment. And also, the minimum qualification should be community health extension workers. Now, by standard, depending on the type of ambulance, if you have a basic life support ambulance, should have at least 2 paramedics, 1 paramedic and a nurse, or 2 nurses. That's for basic life support. So, and our intention was to start with the basic life support. But now that we don't have paramedics, and also the number of nurses that we have available in the system, if you draw them from the secondary facilities, there will be a problem. So, and we have a lot of community health extension workers that are not employed. So what if we use them and train them specifically for this? So that is how it was done. Then the next is to ensure that their physiological state is okay. And this was done by basic examinations and some tests, which included the toxicology test. And that time we ensure that once toxicology is done and you are found to have a trace of any of those substances that are abused, you are disqualified.
After visual presentations and deliberations, the committee was taken round to the administrative offices, a 24-hour call center, and added the tour with a courtesy to the Yobe State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ali Gana, in his office, where he applauded the effort of the BORNO State Commissioner for Health, Professor Baba Malam Gana, for establishing the State Emergency Ambulance Service Committee, which he said is very critical to saving the precious lives of the citizens.
First of all, I would like to welcome our elder brothers, Borno State, to Yobe State on this very important learning tour. Both states share commonalities, and the establishment of emergency medical ambulance systems is actually very critical. Because this is something that is needed, not only that as we see even in advanced societies and even in societies that are less advanced as we are. A lot of emergencies happen, away from hospitals, on the roads, probably during when accidents happen, or even at home. There are certain emergencies, maybe in the dead of the night and so on and so forth. So that quick response and transportation to the health facility where services and responses are going to be provided, or interventions are going to be provided, is actually very important. So as such, my advice first is to congratulate Borno State for going that route, and my advice is that this needs to be taken very seriously, and we also hope that with this learning, we followed so many routes before we actually established ours. We went on learning tour ourselves to Lagos, and then we collaborated very closely with the national, just as I've narrated. So the system that we've tried to establish is a direct mirror of the national, as well as, of course, where we have also learned. I advise that similar is also, done by BORNO.
Well, viewers, with this, we have come to the end of this week's episode of BORNO Health Update. We hope you enjoyed the program. Join us next week for another interesting segment. Until then, I am Ibrahim Amarawa. Bye for now.